I don't know about you, but as someone who is diagnosed with ADD, I've had this one problem with so many of the great time management tricks and productivity hacks that are out there. They all work tomorrow, but today they seem to be elusive because I don't want to do them. And so after spending a decade studying the science of attention, I've come across some alternative ways to approach the challenges of focus. And I want to share with you 5 counterintuitive tips that can really help those of us who can't focus get focused. Because we all know that at the end of the day, if we can't focus, we're going to struggle in our professions, we're going to struggle in growing our careers, we're going to struggle in the quality of our relationships. So focus is important. It just doesn't come the way that we often think it should. So number 1, the common wisdom would say that you need to fill every gap. But research in attention science says that we shouldn't fill the gaps, we should actually mind them. That when we try to fill our day with every moment being perfectly productive, we actually lose sight of what really matters. Because we can be incredibly efficient, but if we don't know what matters and why we're doing it, eventually we end up burnt out. And so instead of filling every gap, make it a practice to spend 5 minutes, 5 times a day, stepping out of the noise. Give yourself a break so that you can actually be efficient in the moments that you need to be. Instead of trying to change yourself, try changing your space. There's fascinating research that shows that different spaces can help us or hinder us depending on the task. For instance, if you're trying to do creative work, being by a window that allows you to see far out actually helps creativity. It lends us towards abstract thinking. In fact, if you're in a coffee shop with background noise and you're struggling to focus otherwise, that background noise can actually aid your focus. This is why I often tell people that if you're struggling to focus, just move. No one's supposed to have to stare at a screen in a cube all day or sit in our home office never moving, thinking we're somehow needing to get more disciplined. If you're struggling to focus, change your space. Get up and move. While the world will say that you need to be available so you can have access to information, what I'll say is the only way to focus is to build yourself a vault. To find a place and a time every single day where no one can reach you, where your phone's not on, it's not available, where the technology, the internet is off, where when you go into it, you know, I can only focus, and we gotta make those barriers high. The more you struggle, the harder you wanna make it to get to the outside world, because it's by being inside the vault that you actually give yourself a chance to focus on what matters. So don't always be available in the name of collaboration and efficiency. Find a time to be intentionally unavailable. Most people think about goal setting as what you're gonna do for the quarter, what you're gonna do for the year, what you're gonna do for the next 5 years. What I'll say is that there's nothing more important than giving yourself a chance to be successful today. So every day I pull out a journal and I have some really basic questions, like what would success look like today for me physically? It's not probably gonna run a marathon, but it might be that I'm gonna take my dog on a walk. What does it look like for me to be successful today intellectually? I'm gonna read 2 more articles than I was otherwise gonna do. What does it look like for me to be successful today professionally? And when I can set that target, there's fascinating research that shows that our brain will subconsciously push us towards those goals and help to eliminate distractions even before we're consciously aware of them. So by taking a couple minutes every single day and setting and saying, this is what I actually need to achieve today, we have far better results than worrying about the once-a-year goal planning. It turns out if we just put together a series of easy, low-hanging fruit wins, focus isn't nearly as challenging. And then finally, my favorite. In fact, I'm not sure if I know of a more effective tool that in today's world where you are inundated with 500% the amount of information as people in 1990, where even since the pandemic started, we've seen 148% increase in meetings. The expectations keep rising, but our ability to handle it doesn't. So if you want to have permission to focus, you got to throw yourself a trash party. Every month, we have a celebration as a team. What are the things we decide go in the trash? What are the things that you've been carrying? Oh, I haven't seen this Netflix special. I haven't responded to this person. I keep not being a part of this organization. I'm really bad at following up with this person. Throw it in the trash. Because the only way that you get focused is by giving up a whole lot of the stuff that everyone else says that you're supposed to do. You see, the only way that we focus is by doing the opposite of what so many of the productivity tips and tricks say out there. You gotta do less, not more. You gotta feel like you're actually achieving something rather than always being aware of what you're not achieving. It's okay to have ADD, but it's not okay to not focus on what matters. Hi, I'm Curt Steinhorst. Thank you for watching this video series where I share practical tips on how to focus in a world of distraction. If you found the video helpful, if you'd do me a favor and like it, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and go to focuswise.com for more resources on how to focus.